India is steadily emerging as a global power, both economically and militarily, positioning itself as a key ally of the US, France, and Japan. This growing influence has heightened China's concerns, especially due to India's strategic control over the Andaman and Nicobar Islands, which can serve as a powerful geopolitical advantage. Additionally, the Galwan Valley conflict in 2020 showcased India's military resilience, and the subsequent peace treaty under Prime Minister Narendra Modi played a crucial role in stabilizing tensions while reaffirming India's firm stance on national security. Economic powerhouse. 1. Fifth largest economy. India has surpassed the UK and is on track to become the third largest economy by 2030, driven by a strong manufacturing sector, IT dominance, and a young workforce. 2. Global trade and investment hub, with its expanding infrastructure, Make in India initiatives, and growing consumer market, India attracts major global investments. 3. Technology and defense industry. India is advancing in space technology, ISRO, semiconductor manufacturing, and AI, making it a key player in the global supply chain. Military strength and global alliances. 1. Strategic alliances. India has deepened military and defense ties with the US, France, and Japan, ensuring access to advanced technology, fighter jets, submarines, and intelligence sharing. 2. Quad alliance. As a member of Quad, US, India, Japan, Australia, India plays a crucial role in countering China's dominance in the Indo-Pacific. 3. Nuclear and naval power. India possesses nuclear capabilities, a rapidly expanding blue water navy, and aircraft carriers that boost its maritime strength. The Galwan Valley conflict and Modi's peace treaty. 1. Deadliest clash in 45 years. In June 2020, the Galwan Valley in Ladakh witnessed violent hand-to-hand combat between Indian and Chinese troops, resulting in casualties on both sides. 2. India's strong response. The Indian Army swiftly reinforced its positions along the line of actual control, LAC, deploying additional troops, artillery, and tanks, ensuring that China could not advance further. 3. Diplomatic resolution by Modi. Despite tensions, PM Narendra Modi's diplomatic efforts led to a disengagement agreement, ensuring that Chinese troops retreated from sensitive areas while reinforcing India's territorial claims. 4. Strengthening border security. After Galwan, India has boosted its infrastructure along the LAC, improved airbase connectivity, and enhanced defense ties with Russia, the US, and France for advanced weapons and surveillance systems. Andaman and Nicobar. India's trump card against China. 1. Choking the Malacca Strait. The Andaman and Nicobar Islands sit at the entrance of the Malacca Strait, through which 40% of China's total trade and 80% of its energy imports pass. 2. Naval bases and surveillance. India has military bases in the region, capable of deploying warships, submarines, and anti-ship missiles, allowing it to block or disrupt China's crucial trade routes. 3. Defense expansion. India is strengthening its presence with more airstrips, naval docks, and joint drills with allies like the US and Japan. China's fear of India's rise, India's growing economy, military alliances, and control over a choke point vital to China's trade make it a formidable counterforce. While China has tried to encircle India with the string of pearls strategy, India's Act East policy and strong ties with ASEAN nations further weaken China's influence. With advanced weapons purchases and indigenous defense projects, India is bridging the military gap with China. The Galwan conflict proved that India is not afraid to stand up to Chinese aggression, and the peace treaty solidified its diplomatic strength. The Arctic route. China's alternative to Malacca. China recognizes the vulnerability of the Malacca Strait and has been exploring alternative trade routes. One such option is the Arctic route, which bypasses Malacca and the Suez Canal, offering a direct connection to Europe. However, this route comes with significant challenges. 1. Harsh weather conditions. The Arctic route is covered in ice for much of the year, requiring icebreaker ships and special navigation technology, increasing costs. 2. Longer travel time. Although it avoids potential blockades at Malacca and Suez, the Arctic route requires several extra days of sailing, making it less efficient than the traditional route. 3. Limited infrastructure. Unlike well-established shipping lanes, the Arctic lacks fuel stations, repair docks, and ports, making it a risky and unreliable alternative. 4. Geopolitical barriers. The route passes through the exclusive economic zones, EEZs, of countries like Russia, Norway, and Canada, making it subject to geopolitical disputes and restrictions. Military strength. India, US, France, Japan versus China. A direct comparison of the combined military strength of India, the US, France, and Japan against China highlights why Beijing is concerned. Why China is concerned. 1. Outnumbered in air and sea. The US, India, France, and Japan together vastly outmatch China in fighter jets, aircraft carriers, destroyers, and submarines, ensuring complete maritime dominance in case of a conflict. 2. Naval superiority. With 18 aircraft carriers and 154 destroyers, the combined forces can easily counter China's navy in the Indo-Pacific. 3. Massive military alliance. With over 3.2 million active troops, the Allied forces far outnumber China's 2 million-strong military. 4. Technological edge. The US, France, and Japan provide cutting-edge military technology to India, further bridging the gap. Conclusion. India's strategic alliances, control over Malacca, and superior combined military power with the US, France, and Japan make China increasingly vulnerable. Despite seeking an Arctic alternative, China remains heavily dependent on Malacca, where India holds a strong geographical advantage. This is why China fears India's rise and is cautious in direct confrontations.